All right, let's get into it. Today, we are going to crack open the code on how to attract truly world-class talent. We're essentially boiling down a masterclass on recruiting into a simple 4-part playbook. And trust me, this can fundamentally change how you even think about building your team. So let's start with the big question, the one that probably keeps a lot of leaders up at night. Why is recruiting so darn hard? I mean, it seems like it should be simple, but the reality is most companies really struggle to bring in the top-tier people they need. Well, that's the exact problem we're going to unpack and solve right now. Does any of this look familiar? You're constantly putting out fires, solving problems for your current team, and that pushes recruiting, which is arguably one of the most important things you can do, to the back burner. And let's be honest, it's tough work. Nobody likes facing rejection. But the real killer? It's the lack of a consistent plan. Without that, you're just hoping for the best. But what if we could change that whole dynamic? And that right there brings us to our very first play. And this is a huge mindset shift. We have to stop thinking like salespeople and start acting like detectives. It's all about finding out the why long before you ever start talking about the what. This quote really gets to the heart of it. Think about it. A salesperson's job is to persuade, to sell. But a detective's job? It's to find the truth. Your goal isn't to hard sell your company. It's to uncover a problem, a point of friction for a potential hire that your company is uniquely positioned to solve. So, what kind of clues are we looking for as detectives? Well, the source material calls them dissatisfiers. These are the real underlying reasons people actually start looking for a new job. And pay close attention to that last line. You don't create them, you discover them. Your job is just to listen and find them. And here are some of the most common dissatisfiers you'll come across. It's almost never just about one big thing. It's usually a bunch of smaller things. Feeling unappreciated, butting heads with a manager, or maybe just a nagging worry about where the company's headed. These are the little sparks that a great recruiting detective knows how to spot. Okay, so you've got this new detective mindset, but how do you turn that into a repeatable, scalable system? Well, that brings us to play number 2. It's time to stop treating recruiting like some kind of mysterious art form and start treating it like a predictable science. This is how you start winning with numbers. And that science really starts with setting goals that actually motivate you instead of frustrating you. Now, I know we've all seen SMART goals a million times, but in recruiting, they are absolutely essential. They transform a fuzzy wish like, I wish we had more great people, into a concrete, actionable target you can hit. The trick is to get to that target scientifically. You don't just pull a number out of thin air. You actually reverse engineer it. You start with your big profit goal, and then you work backwards to figure out, okay, how many people do I need for that? How many meetings does that take? And finally, how many people do I need to contact to get those meetings? And after you do all that math, you might end up with a simple, clear number. Let's say it's 12. Just 12 contacts a day. All of a sudden, this giant, intimidating goal of building a winning team becomes a simple, manageable, non-negotiable task you do every single day. Now that is the science of recruiting. Okay, so you've got the mindset, you've got your number, now it's time for execution. Let's get into play number 3, mastering the first contact. This is where the rubber really meets the road, and it all comes down to the psychology of that very first phone call. Look, the goal of this first call is stunningly simple. Your one and only job is to get a face-to-face meeting. That's it, full stop. You're not trying to recruit them on the phone. You're not talking about money. You're not just listing off facts about your company. You are selling the meeting and only the meeting. And check this out. This is how a pro handles that classic objection, I just don't have time. You don't argue with it, you reframe it. You don't have time? That is the exact reason we need to talk. In one move, you've turned their objection into the very reason for the meeting. You've gone from a salesperson to a problem solver. And this brings us to the last and maybe the most powerful play in our entire playbook, how to frame the final offer. After you've done your detective work, you've run the numbers, you've secured the meeting, the close hinges on one powerful psychological reframe. So first, what not to do. You have to banish a certain phrase from your vocabulary. Never, ever talk about changing companies. Just the phrase itself sounds like a lateral move. It feels risky, it feels stressful. It's like a big jump into the unknown. Instead, You frame it like this. A move to your company isn't just a change, it's a promotion. It's the reward they've earned for all their hard work. It's the career step up they absolutely deserve. This tiny shift in language completely changes the dynamic from a scary risk to a celebrated advancement. And this isn't just talk, right? You've got to make that promotion real and tangible. You create a clear, visible ladder of advancement. You're not just offering them a job, you're showing them a career path where top performance is clearly and directly rewarded with better titles, better pay, and better perks. You know, when it's all said and done, it comes down to this core mindset. Recruiting isn't personal. It's not love. It's not war. You're not stealing an employee. The reality is, their current company created the circumstances for them to be open to leaving. You are simply presenting a better business opportunity. It's just business. So if you take one thing away from all this, it's the power of that reframe. Stop filling positions and start offering promotions. And that really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. What kind of promotion could you design that would make the absolute best people in your industry find it impossible to say no?